This is Smithy.tv.
Hi, I'm Katie Allman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto with Dave Farrow, who is a two-time Guinness Book of World Records holder in memory and the current record holder. What is your secret to remembering everything?
Well, actually, Katie, the most important thing that I wanted to get across in all my interviews is that memory is a skill. It's a myth that we're born with a certain level of smarts and you can't do anything about it for your whole life. I encountered that prejudice. I encountered that myth when I was younger. And the latest neuroscience is telling us exactly what I've been saying for the past 20 years, that, wow, it's been 20 years, whoa. But it's exactly what I've been saying this whole time, is that by training the brain, you actually get a stronger memory. And what we've done with Farrow memory is we've taken it to another level where we call it a memory strategy. So on top of just exercise, we actually have little tricks that you can use to memorize things like people's names and numbers and things like that.
What would an example of a trick be that you could use to remember someone's name?
Well, I just happen to have, what a great segue. I just happen to have a great way to memorize my name. This actually came out of, I'm the Guinness record holder for memory, but I would show up to an office and then a few weeks later, people would say to each other, hey, they had this great memory guy in my office. And then, the next line would be, wow, what was his name? And they're like, I don't remember. Well, he must not have been that good, right? So it was a credibility issue, right? So what I did was, in essence, the memory techniques, they make it easier to memorize something. So you want to make something visual. You want to make it sound like something that's more concrete. So Dave and Farrow, a lot of people think of me a Farrow, but you can't think of any real object. So what the human brain really wants to do is latch onto something concrete. So we take, doctors and lawyers and people who are studying for exams and show them how to take complex scientific terms and trick your brain into thinking it's something easy to remember. So my name, Dave Farrow, you probably forget that pretty quickly, but if I put on this Farrow hat, dun, da, 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 ha.
I love it.
This may seem silly, but I guarantee I can put this on for just a few minutes and I can take this off and we can, hopefully my hair isn't all horrible and, you can go throughout the whole interview and, weeks later I've had people remember that mnemonic, and that is a mnemonic device. So I've actually used this for entrepreneurs to get them to brand their business. We actually call it mnemonic branding. People like companies like Geico and Aflac are doing it well. Companies like State Farm are doing it badly. That's why they're losing market share. And we go into all that for businesses and corporations, but also, individuals. You want to be remembered, right? It's important. And of course, also, there's sometimes in job interviews where if you can do one little thing that can make you more memorable, then you stand out from the huge stack of resumes they got in front of them.
Absolutely. Growing up, you had ADHD and dyslexia. Yeah. How has that helped you in developing your memory program?
Well, as you probably know, and probably a lot of listeners know, that the tools, there's a bit of a battle between science and academia where different people have different beliefs of how to solve the crisis that we have of learning challenges. What science has come up with is we realize that there's actually a whole spectrum of attention where there's severe ADD on one end, but there's people who fall all the way in between. And science is trying to push the idea of modular learning, that is, learning a little bit of a lesson at a time. If you're good at that lesson, you can go faster. Other people can go slower. And then, the people who were slower in one lesson might be faster in another lesson. Places like Asia, Japan has done this really well. Germany's done this really well. And it shows that people have done scored much, much higher. The problem is it hasn't come to Canada yet. So one of my missions, we call it competition to the classroom. We take memory competitions and all those cool challenging events that people have done, like the Guinness Book of Records and other memory challenges, and we try to show teachers and students and other people that this is something practical for the classroom. So in my own personal example, I use myself as an example. There really wasn't that many tools to deal with ADHD and dyslexia. It was pretty much, this is your lot in life, deal with it. And I didn't want to to take that advice. So I went on a quest to search to discover everything I could about memory and brain training. And like I said, that was 20 years ago, so there really wasn't this big boom of neuroscience that there is today. I'm glad to say and proud to say that this has actually led to a whole new theory of memory called memory triggers and memory personalities. We've just completed our first double-blind study at McGill University, a very prestigious university, where we're actually able to show that just after 10 minutes of training and a week of just letting them go, tested a week after the training, people actually using our method scored triple the control group. So we're actually been able to improve memory in a clinical environment. And we want to show this to the classroom and show people that anybody can have a powerful memory. You might have to do some tricks in your head. You might have to know a little bit about how your brain works, but certainly it's not just luck. It's not just effort. It's not always a behavioral thing. Or, sometimes a student is not lazy. Sometimes they're really bright, but they just don't have the tools to do it. And that's our message.
And how can a student improve their grades, become a better test taker, and do generally better at school?
Well, actually, we have a lot of resources. DaveFarrow.com is my website, and we have a blog on there. So there's some free content. There's also some of our programs that you can purchase at varying degrees, and there's also a program in there that teachers can take to teach us in the classroom. So we're trying to give something for everybody, and we're also running live events, live seminars in the Toronto area coming up. We're doing fundraisers. Any organization that wants to do a fundraiser, we like to raise money for charity by inviting people to go to a memory seminar. So just to get the word out, because it's important to give people hope. I can't tell you how many times I've had parents come up to me crying because they've heard this doom and gloom message everywhere that, oh, your child is dumb and won't amount to anything and all, and there's such negativity out there. And I go up to them and say, look, with a little bit of effort and the right strategy, you can accomplish anything. And I've proven it time and time again, myself and other people. I'm ADD and I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. So we prove that we can do this, and I think that the truth will come out, and it's done pretty well so far.
And how can it help with memory loss as well as Alzheimer's?
Oh man, yeah, that's really near and dear to my heart. My grandmother actually passed away from Alzheimer's not too long ago, pretty recently, and I hear letters all the time from it. That's something that we want to study. I don't make any medical claims about that right now, but most of the data is very clear that brain training in general provides exercise and a preventative approach, and that's been relatively established as a consensus, although there's a little bit of disagreement as to what type of brain training is best. We focus mostly on students and study skills and things like that, but one of the next studies we want to do is show that this offers a preventative for memory loss. And at the very least, what we have done is I've actually taken people with severe amnesia. Terry Evanson, the CFL Hall of Famer, I worked with him one time, and he told me that this was one of the most touching points in my life, where he told me that he's worked with all these doctors, and in a few minutes, using these techniques, he was able to get more results than all the drugs out there. Because there simply is no pill or no drug that you can take to improve your memory. The only thing that it responds to is exercise. It's kind of like our body. You can't just take a pill and be thin, without harmful side effects, I suppose. And I'm sure the same thing with our brain. Our brains respond to exercise, but in the right way. Not just like stress is a form of exercise, and that's not good. So it has to be the right type of brain training, and that's what we try to provide.
And you also have a dream for a nonprofit organization in Africa. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. We're actually working with South Africa. I actually have, this is crazy, but I have commercials running right now in South Africa on our memory system. And one of the things that's always been near and dear to my heart is that there's so much talent. A lot of people see South Africa, or Africa in general, as a charity case. And I'm thinking the biggest tragedy is all the brilliant minds that are lost because they're in a corrupt system, bad politics and everything. So our plan, actually, our big plan, we actually have some people we're working with down there, is to provide education and also to provide, to try to help build up the entrepreneurial life there. And once people realize, if you ever want to do anything for Africa, my big suggestion is to buy something from them. Don't give them free money. Give them jobs and not charity, and that's the big message we'd like to push out. And we're working with that to create a nonprofit to really focus on that, to provide a way. Eventually, the plan is to provide a way to have African goods sold in North America and around the world via the internet, and the proceeds would go to them in a fair trade sort of way. And that's one of my big passions. I was actually surprised you mentioned that, because it doesn't usually come up in an interview, but this is one of the things that we want to do.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you and all the work you're doing online?
Sure. DaveFarrow.com. We actually have a number of speakers across the country. We have about 30 speakers across North America. So they do seminars. We're actually running a memory seminar every weekend in North America. So we do things at schools, live events, businesses. Any business that has an office meeting, we'll actually have somebody come by and do a presentation and improve people's memory. So you contact us at DaveFarrow.com. My email, you can get a hold of us directly at info@DaveFarrow.com, and we can definitely help you out from there. We want to work with anybody to put this forward, to let people know that there is hope.
Shifting gears a little bit, are you or are you not related to Mia Farrow?
Well, my last name is spelt the same way as Mia Farrow, and what we know is that we've actually done genealogy studies in my family. The Farrow family is very into this, and we have a descendant that comes from Australia. And in reading Mia Farrow's books, she's remotely descended from a Farrow in Australia as well, and seems to be the same guy. So I would love to compare notes with her, but it looks like she found a dead end there and we found a dead end there, so it seems like we found the same person from different angles. So I'd love to compare notes with her and reconnect. And Mia Farrow, if you're listening, give us a call. We actually have genealogy charts and everything. We can't prove it definitively without her, but it looks as though that's what's happened. So that's kind of cool.
You're also hosting an upcoming memory competition. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, this will actually be an officially sanctioned event with the World Memory Council in England. There's actually people who come from all around the world. China sponsors a team and everything to compete in kind of a mental Olympics. And I've been chosen to host it here in Canada. Looks like we'll be planning for back to school time. And we're looking for sponsors who want to get a whole bunch of great free publicity for not very much coin. So if anybody wants to sponsor something that is hosting the world stage, then please contact us, and we'll take care of you, and we'll let you know all the details they're happening for 2013.
Thank you so much, Dave. Congratulations on all of your success, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you, and don't forget me. All right? All right.
I'm Katie Allman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto.